Welcome back to Jaw Drops. Here on the episode Danganronpa. Last time we left off, we just discovered what's killed Hifumi, the spotless hammer, and yeah, pretty much my suspicions haven't changed at all. But I think we're reaching the end of this trial, so hopefully you finish this episode. I have two tries left. If I fail two times, I die. Pretty much. I have two mistakes to make. I'm only allowed to make two mistakes, or I fail.
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Exactly.
I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones.
Yeah.
I think whoever made the Justice hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Exactly.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
Exactly.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used the hammer to kill him.
And someone told us that Celeste is the one who found the bodies.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Yes.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him.
Oh.
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
True. True. Unless you're stupid.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this.
And we know some bait that would easily get Hifumi and Taka. Hifumi or Taka out. We talked about how they wouldn't be any reason to work together. So that's what we thought at first, but no. Make your argument. Spotless hammer. Okay, yeah, I need to find the contradiction in the sentences.
That have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive.
Yes.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people...
So I need something to contradict this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
Yes.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right?
Yes.
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Grab that. I think we didn't have anything other than those two things. So it's impossible people work together on this.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming
Yes.
the rule holds true.
Hey, you're right. Objection.
Since there were two murders, it's at least
Oh
possible
boy.
that more than one person was involved.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering.
Exactly.
Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
Elaborate.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme.
Okay.
There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Yes.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
Exactly.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Exactly.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crimes.
Yeah.
And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka.
Yes.
They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
Yes.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
Okay.
It only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look.
Yes.
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies.
Yeah.
By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
Yeah, which then leaves me Celeste.
Mastermind
I still think it's Celeste.
managed to convince
She's been
him to
acting a
go
bit
along with
strange.
their plan. And then to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Exactly.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How
That's a society we live in today.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning.
Yeah, it's
Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Lovers made to convince the two murders. Same time, that's main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing after all, though. Think about it, she's almost too amazing. It's almost like it's unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
Yes. Chuko had manipulated Hifumi to carry out the number of actions and, in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the only way the case is unfolded, when you consider all that, there's only one person who seems to fit. Yep. They get that. I'm sorry, Buckaroo.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yes.
I really do hate this kind of
I'm not joking.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Yes.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Wow.
Pardon-moi.
Pardon-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
He's a simp.
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Now elaborate. That's the only case. The screaming. Oh, screaming!
Shoot!
Shit!
I got it! The behavior they had in common.
We could have had a
to do
third
with the
chance.
Suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Yeah.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Okay, Yamakuma, can I get on my seat to punch his Don't swear. To punch this kind gentleman?
Sorry.
Why you say sorry?
As he said, only
Ah!
Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Yep.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Yes.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
Yes.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
What'd you say? Yeah, exactly, this thing.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
Yes.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
Yes.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
Yes.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Yeah. She's pretty much, saying that she was blocking the stairs.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Exactly. Yeah, that's Fumi's scream. Then Celeste and Aoi went to go down there and, yeah.
Into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Exactly.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Yeah. Let me split up.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
That is true.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
Go ahead. Ha-ah!
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the
Third
third
floor.
floor. Everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
Yeah. Oh,
I just realized another strange thing.
what do you notice, eh?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
Oh, hi there, Mafumi. How you doing? I was certainly not expecting this. Do not mention that Hifumi would be murdered. What about it?
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Okay.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
So far, yeah.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Wait, then that was...
But
She
we can
wasn't
leave.
worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
I do.
Trying to deny it.
Yes.
You made one fatal mistake.
Who was it?
Oh, did
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it,
But?
looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What one little slip up? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight, standing around afraid and confused. We're all gonna die here. We're all gonna die just like those guys did. Oh, guys!
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand.
Is this supposed to be like she didn't know about Taka's death yet?
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room.
Yes.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto.
Yes.
Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office.
Yes.
Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about
Ah, I
Think about
see.
it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what
It means that she knew Taka was dead.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
So that's coming doesn't make sense. He alluding to no. Make this simple for me. Make your argument. Unrecommendable file 3. Okay.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this.
Yes.
Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
All right.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
That's what we gotta look at.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I don't know how to contradict this one. I should have known about the Hifumi's death. Well, that is so strange. What she said is.
All I said was...
Okay, so I gotta grab Byakuya's thing
We are all going to... we are
and
going
use it
to die.
here.
Just like... And that is all...
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be... We are all going to... We are going to die.
Just like those guys died.
Okay.
No, it's wrong.
Oh. Actually, I'm focusing a lot harder on this game now.
There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died.
Exactly.
When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall.
Yes.
So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
Yeah.
So how did you know, Celeste?
Yeah. How do you know?
How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Yes. Eh. Yes.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
You talk too much.
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
Yes.
Then what about the picture I took?
She is really alluding to this picture, isn't she? Are you about to just say that that picture is fake as well? Or something?
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
I believe so.
So let's put the suit on. And
No.
Then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
No, I don't think so.
Is it you've forgotten? You
Yeah.
are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit.
Exactly.
Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
But is it? Is it though?
Everything I told you was a lie. How can this picture exist?
Unless.
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
Ah?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Ah?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
Alright, go ahead.
No.
Knocks it out.
There is no other explanation.
Oh, other explanations. It wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. Possibilities. Hifumi suspect had been drinking. I think it's the first one. The dancing.
I got it!
Hey, got half a heart
It's
back.
not a
Yay.
picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Yep.
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
Exactly.
We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Exactly.
And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Oh,
Such a thing
such a thing.
is utterly impossible.
Oh,
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Redonkulous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Go ahead.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Says this thing a bit angry, isn't she? Celestine she can prove herself there's no other way from his dragon, but it's possible. But is that really possible? And here we are with my favorite thing. Make your argument. Let's see his message. Robo just Gus, I think it is.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Okay.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
Okay.
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that. Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No, shut up!
No way!
Robo just costume. Yasu's message. Blueprints. Where Hina said she can bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight!
Not that.
You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious...
Shite!
Shoot! You dressed me up in that. Then you just draped. You tried to make me look like.
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect, if the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Haha, I knew it! I didn't mess up at all. Totally. Oh boy.
Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Yeah.
Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Yeah! That still makes you laugh. Can't bend the waist? Yeah.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake.
Oh?
I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
And we'll figure out what she means next time on Odd Jobs. Yeah, jeepers. This whole thing is actually like this is kind of obvious who did it now, but it's really difficult to counter the arguments here and there. Well, that might just be me, and everybody watching this might be like, no, this is simple. It clearly goes hair. But oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'm actually having fun with, I haven't been having too much fun with this game lately, maybe because it's been kind of boring. The characters seem kind of dumb. The characters are still just as dumb. But at least the game is actually giving me challenges time. So yeah. If you guys are watching, hit the like button, I guess I'll stay updated for uploads, subscribing to the bell icon, yeah. Hasta la vista, have a good day!